I tested 15 self-improvement habits on myself like a lab rat with a vision board. And what happened next was borderline insane. 1. Make the bed. I used to think making the bed was for people who have their lives way too together. But then I actually tried it for a week, then a month, and now I make my bed every single day. By doing this first thing in the morning, you've already started your day with productivity. It's about proving to yourself, within 5 minutes of waking up, that you're capable of completing something. Making my bed was the first micro win that led to macro discipline. Because once your bed is made, skipping the gym feels a little more criminal. Leaving dishes in the sink, now it feels off. And it's not about being neat, it's about being in control of your space and your standards. You walk past that made bed later in the day, and it quietly says, "You showed up for yourself today." Small fix, huge win. 2. Wake up before the world. Waking up at 9 a.m. sounds great until you realize you're starting your day 3 hours behind your future self. I used to roll out of bed late, immediately overwhelmed, already reacting to a day I hadn't even started. And I'm not saying wake up at 5 a.m. to run 5 miles or do 100 burpees. I'm just saying wake up before the noise, when there's not 1 ounce of noise. Just pure quiet. The kind of quiet that feels like a clean slate. 3. Phone-free walks. Go on a walk without your phone. No music, no podcasts. Just you, nature, and that one squirrel who stares at you like it knows all your secrets. At first, it feels weird, like your brain starts glitching. You reach for your phone out of habit, then remember, oh no, it's just me and nature right now. Just straight up boredom. And that's exactly where the magic starts. Because somewhere on this walk, ideas surface and thoughts untangle. Some of my best ideas, like video concepts, decisions, or even personal clarity, didn't come from a book or a podcast. They came 15 minutes into a peaceful walk. So yeah, leave the AirPods, walk with your thoughts, and maybe wave to the squirrel. He's been through a lot too. 4. The deep work hour. This one didn't just change how I work, it changed who I am when I work. It's called a deep work hour, but don't let the name fool you. It's not about working longer. It's about working like your soul's on a deadline. And here's what's crazy. Before I started this, I used to spend 5 hours pretending to work. But now, I block 1 focused hour. 1 hour where distractions are illegal. And in that single hour, I get more done than I used to in an entire distracted afternoon. Trust me, try this, and you will be shockingly productive. 5. Lift heavy weights. Look, I'm by no means a gym bro. I don't own pre-workout, and I'm never shouted, "Let's go mid-rep." But there's something primal, borderline therapeutic, about walking into a room full of heavy objects and deciding you're strong enough to pick them up. It's you versus gravity. And somehow it teaches you more about life than most books ever will. At first, I lifted like I was trying to impress the ghosts of my high school insecurities. But after a few weeks, it stopped being about looks. It became about focus and power. Lifting made me disciplined. And it taught me how to show up when I didn't feel like it, how to push when it hurts. It's one of the best ways to build physical and mental strength at the same time. 6. Hydration. You ever have one of those days where you're tired, unfocused, or moody? You might just be dehydrated. Yeah, not heartbroken, just overdue for a glass of water. When I started this habit, I wasn't just drinking water. I was in a relationship with it, chugging 20 ounces first thing in the morning, keeping a bottle next to me like it was a security blanket for my nervous system. See, your brain is basically a sponge that runs on electricity. No water, no function. You're not tired, you're just buffering. Once I upped my hydration game, everything changed. Mental fog, gone. Energy dips, reduced. It's such a simple fix, it almost feels like a scam. So now I hydrate like it's my job. I treat water like a performance enhancer, because it is, for your focus, your skin, your mood, your muscle recovery, and even your metabolism. You drink enough of it, and suddenly, you're walking around like your brain just got a software update. 7. Read 10 pages. Not tweets or Reddit threads. I'm talking actual books with page numbers. At first, it felt weird. 10 pages? That's it? But something crazy started happening. The more I read, the more I started thinking like someone with long-term memory and a future. Instead of reacting to every notification like a squirrel on espresso, I found myself pausing to actually think. And I'm not talking self-help overdose. 1 chapter of a solid book can rewire more neurons than an hour of motivational YouTube. I started craving growth instead of TikTok reels. And let's be real, reading 10 pages doesn't sound life-changing, but it stacks. That's 300 pages a month. That's a full book. 12 books a year. You do that for 3 years, you've got an unofficial degree in not being mediocre. 8. Journaling. Some days journaling felt like therapy. Other days it looked like a wasted mess. But guess what? It worked. Because journaling isn't about writing something profound, it's about writing something true. It's the daily practice of dumping your mental junk drawer onto paper and sifting through the messy stuff to find the one thought worth keeping. I'd start out confused, stressed, spiraling, and by the end of one page, things felt lighter, like I'd just argued with myself and finally won. Writing gave me space to think without interruption. No algorithm, no unsolicited opinions, just me, my thoughts, and a blank page that doesn't judge. It made me more honest, more self-aware, and it forced me to face things I usually avoided with distractions and snacks. 9. Keep one promise to yourself. Most people don't realise this, but your entire life is built on how often you keep your own word. And no, it doesn't have to be massive. It's something small and ridiculously doable, like don't check Instagram before 10 a.m, drink one full bottle of water before coffee, or clean my room before gaming with the guys. That one promise, it's less about what it is and more about what it proves. It proves that you're the kind of person who follows through, that your words mean something, even when no one's watching, especially when no one's watching. I started treating it like a daily contract with myself, and every time I kept it, I felt just a little more solid, a little more grounded, like I could trust the person in the mirror. See, if you keep breaking promises to yourself, your brain stops believing you. You start second-guessing your goals, you procrastinate, and you say things like, maybe Monday, and suddenly it's October. But when you follow through, even on the tiniest things, you build what I call inner gravity, that unshakable pull toward your best self. 10. Start saying no. I used to be a full-time people pleaser with part-time boundaries. The kind of person who'd say yes to everything and then scream in the shower about being overwhelmed. Need help moving your couch on a Tuesday at 9 p.m? Sure. Want to grab lunch even though I have 43 things to do and a social battery running on fumes? Absolutely. I said yes out of guilt, out of fear, out of that toxic need to be liked. But here's what that really does. It drains your energy, and it slowly teaches you that everyone else's priorities matter more than your own. So, I just started saying no. Not to be rude or cold, but because I finally realised my peace is expensive, and not everyone gets a discount. My time, my clarity, my life. And the people who respected my no, those were the ones who actually deserved my yes to begin with. 11. Eat whole foods. I didn't clean up my eating to impress anyone. I did it because I was tired of living in a body that felt exhausted and gross. Every time I chose whole foods over processed junk, I wasn't just eating clean, I was winning. Plus, not a lot of people realise all the chemicals and pesticides that get put into processed foods, but that's a conversation for another time. No one tells you how much your mental state is tied to your meals. When I ate like garbage, I felt like garbage. But once I started fueling with real food, whole, colourful, nutrient-dense stuff, everything changed. I stopped looking at meals as reward or punishment and started seeing them as strategy. Clean eating didn't just sharpen my body, it sharpened my mind. I made better decisions, I had fewer cravings, and I finally stopped negotiating with myself in the pantry at midnight. So yeah, eat whole foods, you won't regret it. 12. Clean space, clean mind. Look, your environment isn't just where you live, it's what you become. For the longest time, my room looked like a tornado got bored halfway through and decided to vibe instead of finish the job. Clothes on the chair, dishes on the desk, random receipts from a year ago, still judging me. And I wondered why my thoughts felt so cluttered. Here's the truth I learned the hard way. Messy room equals messy brain. You can meditate and sip green juice all you want, but if you're doing it in a space that looks like a crime scene, good luck finding peace. So, I started cleaning, because cleaning your space is saving your sanity. And once I decluttered, my mind followed. I could think more clearly, work more deeply, and most importantly, rest without guilt. My productivity shot through the roof. Your space reflects your standards. And when I raised the standard of my environment, every other part of my life started to rise with it. 13. Talk to yourself with respect. I used to talk to myself like my dad used to talk to me. You're lazy. You effed up again. Why can't you just get it together? And then I'd wonder why my motivation was missing, and my confidence felt like it got hit by a bus. Here's what finally clicked. Your inner voice, that's your narrator. And you can't live a powerful story if the voice inside your head keeps trash-talking the main person. So I made a shift. Now I talk to myself like someone I'm rooting for. I started treating self-talk like training. Every word was either building me or breaking me. And slowly, the inner critic turned into an inner coach. Now I remind myself, you don't have to be perfect, and you don't have to have it all together. Because look guys, in reality, you become what you consistently tell yourself. So if you keep repeating that you're not enough, don't be surprised when your life starts to reflect that belief. but speak with intention and respect, and you start building self-trust, and you start making decisions that align with who you want to be, not who you used to be. 14. Daily self-reminder. No one's coming to save you. Man, this one hit me like a truck the first time I really felt it. No one's coming to save you. No perfect mentor, no rich friend with insider secrets. It's just you. You are the hero, and you are the rescue team. Both. Once I internalized that, I started taking radical ownership of everything. The moment you stop outsourcing your breakthrough to someone else, that's the moment your real transformation begins. No more once I get noticed. No more when someone believes in me. Believe in yourself so hard that people have to catch up. I started reminding myself of this every single day, sometimes out loud, sometimes in writing. You're not stuck. You're just in process. And you're not the victim. You're the one holding the pen. Because life will hand you excuses on a silver platter, but discipline and drive, that's built internally. You want change? Become the person who doesn't need saving, because nobody's coming. The only one that will save you is you. 15. Bible reading and prayer. Before opening TikTok or YouTube, I opened the Bible. Just 10 minutes, sometimes longer. Sometimes just one verse hit so hard, I had to sit in silence afterward, to think or reflect on it. Then I'd pray. Some mornings it sounded like gratitude. Other mornings it was just, Lord, I don't have it today. Please help. And that small habit grounded me in a way cold showers never could. Because life will punch you in the face. The question is, what were you anchored to before the hit came? Reading scripture gives you direction. Prayer gives you peace.